Sylvia McCally's Algorand, who's a Turing Award winner at MIT that I work with. Sylvia's got a great technology that has the performance you could create Uber on top of it.
This was in 2019. You got the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, basically giving Algo or Algorand a nod of approval. And what just happened this past week? There's been a list of cryptocurrencies that came out and saying that they were unlawfully unregistered securities. And guess what was a part of that list? Yep, you guessed it, Algorand. So don't listen to what they say, follow what they do, buy Bitcoin. And then you also see the co-founder and CEO Brian Armstrong in the news with Coinbase. What's been going on? The SEC government is now weaponizing their role in the crypto industry. This is from Senator Haggerty. Allowing a company to list publicly and then stonewalling their attempts to register is indefensible. So what this senator is saying is Gary Gensler might have some questions to answer from Congress. More to come on this. Piggybacking on that, the SEC sues Coinbase and then alleges that it is an unregistered broker. The agency files a second lawsuit this week against the crypto hub following the suit against, the other big player in the space, Binance. The SEC is coming and they're not playing any games. They're coming to crack down on your crypto exchanges. So once again, don't leave your Bitcoin on exchanges, and we hope that you've been dollar cost averaging and buying, because we'll see how this turns out. What if Coinbase and Binance get shut down or get hemmed up to where you can't buy anymore? Where are you going to buy from? There's other alternatives, but you see where we're going with this. Speaking of the Binance, they got sued, and they also sued CZ, alleging multiple securities violations. The company has already faced a suit from the CFTC and now the SEC. Is CZ in hot water? What's going to come of this with the SEC, the CFTC, and Binance? More to come. An update from Adam Draper. So the SEC has chosen war. Is the U.S. government trying to push innovation out of the country? That sounds like what could be happening. Are you for this regulation? Is it good and healthy for the space, or are you against it? Leave your comments below. Meanwhile, we have Gary Gensler here talking about Bitcoin. Let's hear what he has to say.
This is a highly speculative asset class. We've known this for a long time. The ups and downs of this speculative asset class, Bitcoin, and hundreds of other tokens. And many of these tokens offer the investing public, or the investing public is hoping for a return. Just like when they invest in other financial assets we call securities. And many of these financial assets, crypto financial assets, have the key attributes of a security. So some of them, they're under the Securities and Exchange Commission. Some, like Bitcoin, and that's the only one, Jim, I'm going to say, because I'm not going to talk about any one of these tokens, but
sure,
my predecessors and others have said they're a commodity. Working together, there's two great market regulators in this country. I had the honor to chair the CFTC, a terrific agency. I have the honor now to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission. A little bit different remits, a little bit different approaches, but working together with the banking regulators as well. There's work to be done there around what's called stable coins. There's a lot of work to be done to really protect the investing public. And many of these tokens right now are trying to operate, they're potentially non-compliant, and I'll leave it at that, Jim.
So there you hear it from Gary Gensler once again. He's saying that there are some unregistered securities that are non-compliant under the SEC's jurisdiction and potentially the CFTC. So he's saying, though, Bitcoin is a commodity. He said there's others, but he's not naming them until they're forced to. Maybe he'll say that before Congress. Time will definitely tell. But we also have the SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, weighing in on this as well.
Cryptocurrencies. These are replacements for sovereign currencies. Replace the dollar, the yen, the euro with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. Let me turn to what's a security. A token, a digital asset, where I give you my money and you go off and make a venture. You have some company you want to start or something you want, and in return for me giving you my money, you say, you know what, I'm going to give you a return. or you can get a return in the secondary market by selling your token to somebody, that is a security, and we regulate that. We regulate the offering of that security, and we regulate the trading of that security. And that's our job, and we've been doing it for a long time.
So there you hear it from Jay Clayton, and he's sitting there telling you, once again, along with Gary Gensler, that Bitcoin is a commodity. There's one thing that's for certain in this space, and they've came out and said it time and time again, Bitcoin is a commodity. Another update from Willy Woo. SEC motions to freeze assets on the Binance exchange. Get your coins off of exchanges. Binance customers don't care. Not seeing much Bitcoin leaving, not yet at least. So right now it's not putting in fear anybody that has their coins on exchanges, but is this the whole play for the SEC and the federal government to take your Bitcoin from the exchanges? Now it's time to self-custody if you haven't done so right now. At the current time of this recording, taking a look at the Bitcoin price, we are at 26.8K. And one thing I want to show you on this chart, even with this FUD, we've had a retracement over the past 2 months. And look what happened. We bottomed out over the past day or two and had about a 14% move to the downside over the past 60 days. But look, if we see here, we come down, we bottom out, we established this bottom. This is around the 15.7, 15.6K range. We bounce from this, have the bounce up, and then hit our head on this trend line before coming back down and retesting now potentially this upwards resistance. Putting in a low, putting in a high, putting in a higher low. If we mirror this and we do a similar move again from this bottom, how high could Bitcoin be going over the next bounce? That could take us up to about 47,000. And if you look here, this could be the start of a form of it. Here's the head, here's the shoulder. If we come up and hit this resistance up here, which we told you that this is a technical level around the $50,000 mark, come back down, retest 33, going into the halving, that blue line's the halving event, and then blasting up, that's an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, how high is this going to take us? So that's the question that we want to ask. Where is the technical target for this inverse head and shoulders pattern? We can measure this out for you and see what we get. If we pull this up to where that neckline would be, this would take us up to approximately $154,000 Bitcoin. So definitely a big move and definitely a huge play. Keep this in mind. That could be where the Bitcoin is going for the next halving, but if we zoom out and look on the macro, where could Bitcoin be going by 2038? According to Fidelity, they're saying Bitcoin could go, wait a second, look at all these zeros. $1 billion. Not just 100 million, $1 billion by 2038. This is called from Fidelity. So what Fidelity's calling by 2025, we'll see it goes up to, they're saying roughly $1 million Bitcoin by 2025. So are we going to see Bitcoin get that bullish? Time will definitely tell. But all in all, if this plays out and zeros keep getting added, we didn't quite get to that $100,000 mark yet, but could that be in the cards? So you see, as we're going through the adoption curve, in 2013, Bitcoin was a big bubble. 2015, you can't believe the hype under 200 bucks. That's nothing. 2017, Amex points are better. And this year, it's not really money until the government lets you pay taxes with it. So imagine the next decade. Where's it going to take us? And from Greg Foss, Voltaire said it in 1729. All paper money eventually returns to its intrinsic value. Zero. Bitcoin over fiat. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content? Go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support from each and every one of you. And with that, that's all I have for you today, and I'm out.